Hi guys, welcome back to my channel JC Read. For the entire month of February, I have only posted 2 videos and that is not good. So I'm actually about to start college at the end of March, so hopefully in the beginning of March I'll be able to film more and post more things because I feel like I should make use of the time I have right now before I start to get busy and struggle with time management. But anyway, I'll sort that problem out later. For this video, I'd like to show you guys all the books that I've read in February and what I felt about them. Without further ado, let's just get on with the wrap up. So the first book that I read this month is The Fiery Heart by Richelle Mead. This book is the 4th installment in the Bloodline series, which is a spin-off series of Richelle's more famous series called the Vampire Academy series. It's been over a year since I actually read the 3rd book, and when I read this book, I just realized how much I missed the characters so much. I missed Sydney, I missed Adrian, I missed the whole motley crew. The Fiery Heart isn't my favorite among the ones that I've read because I felt like this book didn't have much that was going on in it. This book ended on such a cliffhanger, so it makes me really want to read the next 2 books in the series. As I was reading this book, I can see that the story in this book was mainly just a build-up for what was going to happen in the next 2 books. For those of you who don't know what the Bloodline series is about, Bloodlines is basically set in the world of Vampire Academy, which is basically our world where vampires exist, and our main character Sydney Sage is from a group called the Alchemists, who are a group of humans who know of the existence of vampires, and the Alchemists work alongside the vampires to make sure humans never find out about the vampires. But the thing is, the Alchemists do not like vampires. So like any other alchemist, Sydney does not feel comfortable being around vampires. But in book 1 of this series, Sydney was given a task to work alongside vampires in a human boarding school. So yeah, that's just basically how I can summarize it for you guys. It's a pretty cool series. I love Vampire Academy and I love this series a lot as well. The next book that I read in the month of February is Featherbones by Thomas Brown. I was sent a free copy of Featherbones through NetGalley in exchange for an honest review, so here it is. If I have to be honest, I did not like this book at all. The whole writing style of this book was very poetic and I was hoping that I would like it because the story seemed like a really different kind of story, something I've never read before. I guess you can somehow call it a magical realism kind of book that deals with psychological issues. But in the end, I realized that I was forcing myself to read this book just to finish it. I wasn't looking forward to reading it. Every single page was a blur to me because I just wasn't interested in the story at all. The writing was beautiful, but that's just about it. Featherbones is basically about a main character, Felix. Basically, his whole week is filled with work and his life is just really boring. And the highlight of every single week of his is just Friday night where he drinks with his friend Michael at bars and just get drunk and whatnot. But then Felix starts to see things and starts remembering things from his past. And throughout the whole book, you just learn more about Felix's past and why he's like that. I'm sorry that's not a really good summary, but I'll be leaving all the Goodreads links down below for all the books. So if you're interested in any of them, you can go and click them to see a proper summary. But yeah, for Featherbones, I just honestly did not like it. Well, that's just what I thought about the book, so there you go. The next book that I read in the month of February is one that I've been wanting to read for so long because it's part of a series that's so popular, everyone's talking about it. And the book that I'm talking about is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, the first book in the Mortal Instrument series. But anyway, I think I gave this book a 3.7 rating on Goodreads, if I'm not mistaken. I did really enjoy City of Bones, but the thing is, over the past few years, the anticipation has been building up. So I guess that's what kind of let me down because this book did not wow me as much as I thought it would. But I would still want to continue reading the rest of the series because it is a really interesting series and I really want to finish the entire series and see what's gonna happen because everybody's talking about the Shadowhunter world and I'm so left out, guys. But for those of you who do not know anything about the Mortal Instruments, it's about Clare who's just a normal human like us. But one day her mother goes missing, she's attacked by a demon, she finds out about other people called Shadowhunters and she discovers that she's part of the Shadowhunter world and that our world does not just consist of humans but as well as every other single being out there like vampires, werewolves and whatnot. Clare joins this group of Shadowhunters and discovers that everything she thought she knew about herself and her past isn't what she thought it was. It was a good book, and I'm hoping I enjoy the rest of the series. The fourth and final book that I read in the month of February was also sent to me by publisher via NetGalley, and that book is The Serpent King by Zentner. Let me show you guys something I like to do. It's a bit stupid, but just look. Oh god, this is so dumb. Look guys, it's upside down. Yeah, yeah. If you guys watched my January wrap-up video, for the February My BBM TBR Jar challenge, I got the challenge, read a debut 2016 novel, and I told you guys that I'll be reading Truth Witch for that challenge, but the thing is I did not get the opportunity to go out and buy that book, but I was so fortunate enough to get The Serpent King, which was a debut novel by Zentner, and honestly I'm so happy to have received this book because not only does it complete my February reading challenge, The Serpent King is probably my favorite book of February. I loved it so much. Every single detail put into this book was so good. I don't think my summary would do any justice to this book, but I'm just gonna tell you guys roughly what the book is about. So anyway, The Serpent King revolves around 3 kids who live in this small Sultan town called Forestville. Our first main character is Dale, and his dad is a preacher at a church, but his dad was recently sent to jail. Dale gets a lot of pressure from his mom and dad because apparently Dale does not have strong faith in his religion as a Christian, and at school he gets bullied because of his dad who was sent to jail. Travis is another kid whose life is also pretty sad. Travis has a super mean dad, but he himself is such a kind sweetheart. And Travis is also an ultimate fangirl of this series called Bloodfall. He's obsessed with it, and people make fun of him because he looks weird, but he is very comfortable with the way he is. He just really wants to live in a fantasy world and just get away from his dad. And last but not least, we have Lydia, whose life is actually pretty fine. She has really supportive parents. She runs a really successful fashion blog called Dollywood. But the thing is, in her small town that they live in, she actually gets looked down on because they think that being famous on the internet isn't much, and they think that she thinks that she's better than all of them just cause she's internet famous. So the entire story revolves around an entire year, which is their final year in high school, and you see these 3 kids face many things throughout the entire year. I felt so attached to our 3 main characters, Dale, Travis and Lydia. Throughout the whole entire book, all I wanted for them was for them to be happy. But of course, throughout the whole book, sad things, miserable things, unfortunate things happen, which broke my heart. This book is not exactly a fast-paced book, but I felt that the pacing of this book was really done well. I gave this book a 4.3 star rating on Goodreads, and the only thing that disturbed me about this book was the way they made Christianity as a religion seem like. But other than that, I really loved the entire story. The Serpent King comes out on March 3rd, guys. The Serpent King was a really good book, and I just want all of you to go and get it, go and read it. Yay! It's finally the exciting part of this video, and that is finding out what my February challenge is for the My BBM TBR jar challenge. So here's my jar, whatever. Alright, I have it, and what is my March challenge? Read a book that is not a novel. Yeah guys, that's what it says here. Can you see that? It said do not read a novel. That means I can read a novella, right? Because a novella is not a novel. And I actually have 2 novellas that I'm planning to read this month. My book for the March reading challenge is Cruel Crown by Victoria Aveyard, which is a novella binder of 2 short stories that are from the Red Queen series. But yeah guys, that's it for my February wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye guys!